About half of marriages end in divorce, and approximately 6 out of 10 divorces involve children. In high-conflict divorces, children often pay the price, particularly when there are false allegations of abuse in child custody cases. Typically, one parent accuses the other parent of physical and/or sexual abuse of their child to gain leverage in their court proceeding, often for revenge. False allegations can be a powerful weapon to limit or deny custody, even when they can't be proven. Although a strong reaction to abuse allegation is understandable, a rushed response can make the situation even worse. In contrast, a wait-and-see attitude can allow a thorough evaluation before a decision is made. Make no mistake, false allegations of abuse are a form of parental alienation. Alienation involves a conscious effort of one parent to undermine the other parent's relationship with their child. Nothing could be worse than a custody decision that's been based on a false allegation. To make matters worse, once a custody decision has been issued, modifying it is an uphill challenge. The clinical evaluation is an important part of the proceeding in which allegations have been made. A successful case requires coordinated efforts among the judge, attorneys, and a court-appointed evaluator who is often a psychiatrist or clinical psychologist. The approach outlined in this video is based upon years of experience with hundreds of cases of abuse allegations. The evaluation process is aimed at determining if an allegation of abuse has occurred. In other words, whether one party's lying to hurt the other. For obvious reasons, the evaluation must include both parents and the child. All must be a part of the evaluation process so the conclusion can be based upon full and accurate information. The accused parent's often advised by his or her attorney not to participate, and that's bad advice. Failing to participate will give the accusing parent's allegations greater weight if they're not disputed, and will deprive the evaluator of critical information. In addition, it's always good for the child, in such cases, to be seen for an independent forensic evaluation in addition to the court-appointed evaluator. If the first allegation of abuse occurs during a child custody case, there's a significant probability that the allegation is false, because it's unlikely that a parent's first abuse of the child occurs after the child custody case has been initiated. Without a history of abuse, it's unlikely that the first abuse occurs during the legal proceeding. Multiple allegations of abuse during child custody litigation is also suggestive of false claims because accusing parents often believe that multiple allegations are more convincing than one. Repeated abuse of a child during a child custody case is highly unlikely. The motive of the false allegation can be detected by its timing. For instance, an allegation right after the filing for custody suggests the other parent is forcing a withdrawal or settlement. False allegations of abuse often include unwitting help from the children. Children aged between 3 and 7 years can be easily coached and want to please their primary parent. It's difficult for children to know the truth once a parent has coached them extensively. Teenagers are generally more transparent and may even admit to lying. There are 7 common alienating beliefs that motivate a parent to make a false allegation of abuse against the other parent. If any of these beliefs are discovered, the allegation of abuse is likely false. 1. I'm afraid our child will love you more than me and will want to live with you. 2. I want my child all to myself. 3. If you don't want me, you don't get our child either. 4. I want to exact revenge on you, and what better way than to deprive you of your child? Number 5. I don't want my child to be anything like you. 6. I've been the real parent in this family, not you. Number 7. I don't want my child to love their new step-parent because I might be pushed out. Detecting these beliefs in a parent requires careful interviews over several sessions by an evaluator skilled enough to detect defensiveness, deceitfulness, and/or distractions of an offending parent. Harmful and false beliefs by the accusing parent can also be detected through interviews with the child and the accused parent. Usually, the child or the accused parent will provide critical clues as to the accusing parent's belief system and detailed narrative that exposes the falseness of the allegations at hand. The following process is ideal for courts to expose false allegations. First, the judge should appoint a psychiatrist or clinical psychologist to evaluate the child and both parents, which should include interviews, psychological testing, and all other available evidence. The evaluator should have access to any other independent assessment of the allegation. The psychiatrist or clinical psychologist must be experienced in child custody evaluations, and no assumptions or decisions should be considered until a thorough investigation has concluded. The evaluation by the mental health professional should be aimed at determining the validity of the allegation of abuse, and neither party should try to sabotage the evaluator in order to win their case. The evaluator's conclusions and recommendations should be given strong weight in the judge's final decision. A false allegation of abuse by a parent should be met with firm consequences, such as a fine, supervised parenting time, court-ordered counseling, and/or loss of primary custody. Swift and decisive consequences will dissuade future false allegations of abuse. The accusing parent might not be appropriate for primary or even shared custody. A parent's willingness to fabricate an allegation of abuse against another parent is a bad sign, and it isn't an accident or a mistake. It's an intentional and purposeful attempt to undermine the litigation. Similarly, the false allegation has implications for the future well-being of the child, and it should be considered a form of parental alienation. This child's experience, especially if they're asked to take an active role in the allegation, teaches the child to be dishonest, manipulative, and blaming, and can potentially destroy a parental relationship. A false allegation of abuse is serious, mustn't be tolerated, and represents a psychiatric emergency, so it must be handled in a direct and timely manner. A child's mental health and well-being depend upon it. Written by Dr. Alanblotcky and produced by the Law Center. Click the link in the description portion of this video to learn more about them.